Hello chess friends and welcome to Outside of Chess channel and welcome to the part 29 of the King's Indian Defense. And with the introduction video, it's the video number 30 from the King's Indian Defense. And basically what I'm trying to do is here that I want to basically cover all the possible positions that you can play in the King's Indian, but of course that's not possible all of them, but I can show you some dangerous lines in the King's Indian, and I wanted to show you at least the possibilities and the names of the lines that are played by white. And I wanted to simply know the strategical ideas in sort of positions. So today I wanted to do again the exchange variation, and I wanted to show you one dangerous line from white's perspective. And if you don't handle this line very well, you will get crushed in the first 10 moves, and that's not what I want you to do. So here I sorted this line out. You have to be careful, but if you play this 2 on 3 next moves correctly, you will get out of the opening very easily and very fine. So the game that I wanted to show, it was played between Vladimir Tukmakov and Teimur Rajabov. Rajabov with the black pieces, and of course we know Rajabov is a strong grandmaster, top level, highest level of in chess, and he likes of course to play the King's Indian. And here let's go for this exchange variation again after d6, castling, bishop to e2, e5, taking, and now on with rook to d8 of course, bishop to g5. And in my first video of the exchange variation, I recommended you this move knight from b to d7. So one of the most aggressive styles that white can play in this variation is play the move rook to d1 or castling queenside. So here white decides to go castling queenside, and here is the mistake that you can make. You can do this c6 move, and basically you avoid this jump in of the knight on d5 and sort of a pin. But of course white has this taking on e5, and now we don't have this possibility to take on e4 because we are pinned here, and of course we cannot take with the knight because we've also pinned. So we don't have this discovery attack on this e4, and after that taking the e5 knight. So the continuation would be rook to e8, and after this black has to take with the knight. Has a really bad position of the pieces because the bishop is blocked, and if of course black takes with the knight, then white can take on f6, and then of course with the rook on d7. So in order to avoid that, don't play c6, because this is the move, this is the dangerous move that can come in the in this opening. So don't do that. The best continuation is here after castling, playing the move rook to f8. Not even to play it on e8, because we have then again here this situation where white can attack the c7, and after c6 now you see he has this attack on both of the rooks, and eventually he would take one of them. So you see the rook cannot stay on d8, it cannot stay on e8, but it comes on f8. And now you see no problem now about this knight on d5, because you have of course c6, and if this check comes, we have again a similar position as in my first lines that I showed you in my first video of this exchange variation. And then we go again on this weak square c5 and d4. So you see Rajabov, of course, he knows his theory and plays rook on f8, and it's very important this moment for you to memorize. And then after that you'll see how strong Rajabov is, and how he gets this, how he crushed his opponent in a couple of moves. So now we have h3, and now we see we have an attacking move, knight on c5, because you see this is the problem. Now the e4 pawn, and here white takes the bishop on f6. Now we have bishop takes on f6, but as said in my previous video, with this knight on d4 and attacking on bishop, we have this bishop to d8, of course with preparing on c6, and it's not a problem. But of course this pawn is hanging, but you have this pawn to take, and it's a fine position. Now the position is opened, and in an open position it's not a positional game anymore, so it becomes a more open line. And you see now your favorite bishop, you have basically just to kick out this knight from this d4, because it's annoying here. It's on our half of the board, and of course this one can be attacked then by bishop to f6. So here white attacked this knight, but of course Rajabov took simply with this pawn on f2. And what white was probably thinking here, that he can somehow somehow capture the knight, because then the knight hasn't where to jump. But after rook to f1, here comes the stunner, bishop to g5 with a check, and after king to c2, here Rajabov plays simply attacking moves. Of course he's not worried now anymore about his knight. He's plays simply for his attacking possibilities. And now you see the rook is sort of trapped. It cannot come here, it cannot come here, it cannot come here, and of course on this square it cannot come either. So here white took, black took of course the rook, and after this he came rook to d8, bringing the rook into the game. And after rook to from f to e8, here is where white resigned, because the continuation would probably be getting out of this pin. And after taking, then we have even an attack on this rook, which is protecting this e2 bishop, and g3 must be played. And after this we can even play this, and if it takes, then we can take the bishop on e2. So this is the line that I wanted to show you. It's you have to be careful, but as said, if you know this couple of moves, if you play them correctly, you can get out of this opening very fine. It's not a problem. So let's see again. So when white plays this rook to d1, or castling, of course, with the same idea of playing rook to d1, I want you to memorize that the correct continuation is rook to f8, and any other continuation that you play is probably losing. So here is the moment in move 10, you have to play this rook to f8, and you're perfectly fine. It's not a problem for you. You can play simply again on our weaknesses as told on this d4, and as in this game we have seen, here we had this possibility of playing knight on c5 with an attack on this very weak e4 pawn. So as I told you, although white has had his fun in this game, he has always these weaknesses. These two pawns can be a weakness, this square can be a weakness, and I'm telling you in my future videos more about, but it will be a video about the strategic ideas in chess. It won't be a video about the King's Indian. It will be a basic video about strategic ideas in chess, and then I will tell you more about weaknesses. Basically, the main weaknesses that your opponent can have is the weakness of a pawn and the weakness of a square. So when you target in weaknesses from your opponent, basically you have to target the weak pawns and the weak squares. So here is where Rajabov played very well on this very weak e4 pawn, and he didn't play on this d4 square. But in a positional style of play, He found really good attacking chess and countered this sort of setup with this queenside castling. So thanks you for watching, guys. We're gonna continue with some different lines of the King's Indian, and of course chess is the best, guys.